What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here today to bring you a video discussing the AFC's scariest team right now. That's the Buffalo Bills and their dominant win versus the Cowboys. Now, let's get right into it. So, first and foremost, guys, I'm not really going to discuss this Cowboys game too much. Heading into this matchup, coming off the weeks both teams had, as we all know, the Cowboys, as I said, in stone on being the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills, they needed more. They're more hungry. They have to fight tooth and nail, plus some more, because they need a lot of help to get in. So, I really had no real issue with giving my prediction for this game prior to this week. I knew the Cowboys would lose this game, especially early on today on social media. Sunday morning news came out that a bunch of the Cowboys players, like over half the team or something like that, is dealing with like a stomach bug issue going on, and they named players Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna that's gonna give the Cowboys fans some sort of excuse of why they lost. So I definitely came into this Sunday's matchup not too excited for this game. But overall, the Bills played how I thought they would. They were aggressive on both sides of the ball. James Cook was dominant. And I seen some on social media basically saying that James Cook stole Dalvin Cook's power, his big brother's power. Dalvin Cook was a dominant running back the last couple years. Coming out of Florida State, and he's kind of been on the downside this year for the New York Jets. And James Cook so far had a good year. Started out strong. The middle of the year was kind of okay-ish, but the last couple weeks, especially today versus the Cowboys, over 200 yards total, over 170 yards rushing, and also about 45 plus yards receiving plus a touchdown in the air and on the ground. So he had a great day today. The main source of the Buffalo Bills offense. So outside of that, the Buffalo Bills played great. We're still waiting on the Stephon Gilmore, Josh Allen, their chemistry to get back to where it used to be. For some reason, it's been kind of off this full season. Maybe because the offseason that Stephon Diggs had, and kind of, his brother Trayvon Diggs kind of hinting at that him wanting out. But overall, I figured the Bills win this game, and that's what they did pretty handedly. The Cowboys couldn't get nothing going in the air, on the ground. It was a complete shutout victory. Not the score-wise, but just how everything looked, how everything felt. The Bills had this game in complete control from the start. Now, on to the Bills' playoff chances, which is definitely, something that's up in the air. Right now, they're part of a quadruplet of 8-6 teams. Themselves, the Colts, the Texans, and the Bengals. They're all right now currently 8-6. And if you didn't know, the Bills have no shot at take that back a little bit. If they all finish with the same record, if the Bengals, Texans, Colts, and Bills finish with the same record, the Bills cannot jump the Colts and the Bengals due to the conference record. So that can't happen there. So Bills have to win out, plus get some help from other teams to defeat the Colts, to defeat the Bengals, and still need the Texans as well. They need to beat them as well. So looking at all four team schedules, the toughest schedule by far is the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a completely rough schedule to end the season. Last three games as follows: versus the Steelers, versus the Chiefs, and versus the Joe Flacco-led Browns, who are completely dangerous. So there's a chance that Jake Browning goes 0-3. There's a chance he goes 1-2. But I really don't see the Bengals going 3-0 in this tough 3-game stretch. So, that's probably the end of the Bengals season coming soon. But we have seen the Steelers struggle on offense. We have seen the Chiefs put up some lackluster games. And the Browns, their history with the Bengals is definitely favoring the Browns. But there's no Deshaun Watson, no Brissett. You have Joe Flacco. Who knows what could happen last game of the season. But right now, I will bet my money the Bengals don't make the playoffs. They probably go, Steelers, Chiefs, Bengals probably go 1-2. So then you have to go with the Texans. The Texans, without C.J. Stroud, they did win today in an overtime win versus the Titans. They have the Browns next. They have the Titans once again. And then the last game of the season is versus the Colts. So that game could be a big game. Depending on if C.J. Stroud comes back or not. that could determine, how the Texans perform the rest of the way, because they kind of did struggle today with what's his name, Case Keenum, who was the backup to C.J. Stroud. He came in, played okay, but wasn't great, and that was against the Titans team. The Titans had a game kind of wrapped up, but just couldn't close it out. They have the Browns next, Titans once again, and then, like I said, last game of the season is against the Colts, which could be a very huge game to see if the Bills can get in. And then you have the Colts schedule. Obviously, we know they played the Texans last game of the season, but prior to that, they have my Falcons next week. Then they have the Raiders. My Falcons has been up and down all year. The Colts should be able to beat them if they play hard and try enough. My Falcons can have a lead all game long and lose it in the fourth quarter like normal. So, the Colts can definitely be in that game as long as they, stay within it in the fourth quarter. Even if they're down, they still have a chance at winning. The Raiders matchup, I like the Colts there. Then, like I said, depending on where C.J. Stroud is at and also how the Texans are currently playing, that game could decide, that could be the deciding factor for a lot of things. So, and then go to the last thing, the Bills schedule. They have a decent schedule. The Chargers, who are without Herbert for the rest of the season, that should be a W. The Bills versus the Patriots next up after the Chargers game, that should be a W versus Bailey Zapp. In the last game of the season, it just depends on the Dolphins. So really, to me, it really depends on if the Ravens can win out and get the number one seed and kind of clinch it. Then the Dolphins have no shot at winning the number one seed. Will they rest their guys going to the playoffs or not? That's the big question there looming for the last game of the season. I would think if it's down to the Bills winning out, the Dolphins will just try to shut the door because they are a division rival, and also the Bills are a super threat, and everyone knows it. So I would think, and I would hope as well, the Dolphins put their best foot forward, and if the Bills need to win that game to get in the playoffs, I would hope the Dolphins come ready to go full bore, trying to knock the Bills out, knock the division rivals out. So, but all in all, man, like I said from the get go, the Bills are the scariest team in the AFC and really in the league right now. The Rams are also up in contention there as well as being a very tough team to play. But the Bills just have it all. The defense is there playing tough right now. Offense is there as well. Like I said, the chemistry with the receivers and tight ends isn't quite there all the way like how I wish it would be. But overall, the Bills are playing tough. They're playing strong, and they're making their wins. They're making them happen, and that's the best thing, and that's the most important thing. So we'll see how it goes, see what happens. But I would hope the Bills get in, but they have a long road. They got to play week by week, and upsets can happen. But with their week schedule, at least for the next two games, the first two of their three games, the Chargers and the Patriots, it should come down to that last week versus the Dolphins. And the history does favor the Bills and the Dolphins matchup. They played earlier during the year when the Bills were kind of on fire to start the season. They beat them 48-20. So we all know Tua and the Dolphins kind of struggle in like the big time games. So we'll see. If it's winner take all for the Bills, or they lose and they go home, I definitely like the Bills in that situation. But we'll see. We'll see. Things can change from week to week. Like I said, they could somehow lose the Bailey Zappi and the Patriots. I can't see them losing to the Chargers. They'll be insane. And how their season ends, they'll be crazy unless an injury happens or something to Allen. But outside of that, though, the Bills should have a nice run, to make the playoffs. Like I said, the Bengals should drop out, so that leaves just the Colts and the Texans. And they in the future, the Texans right now, at least the rest of the season, is kind of up in the air. Depends on when C.J. Stroud comes back from that concussion I believe he has from last week's game. So, but that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.